former makeup artist for Diddy and also Cassie Ventura.
Whatever was going on in there, I don't know. But all I could think of was just getting her out to safety. I have kept this secret for like 14 years.
There's Diddy in a bathrobe. It was just him. And I was like, oh, this is not a party. He kept playing these videos of Jennifer Lopez for us to watch.
Comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Look, I do look, don't lean.
Federal investigators are not going easy on Diddy. You guys remember they went to Diddy's home back in March to go and raid them. They collected a bunch of evidence, but this all came after they went and they spoke to witnesses so they could go to a judge, provide a reason for a warrant, and then go and search Diddy's home. Well, I want to talk about those people that the investigators spoke to because they're going to become key players in this entire scandal because they will be the ones kind of flipping sides and exposing Diddy. And I'm not talking about the victims, but the people who were there and in the room. I have two stories for you guys today. I want to talk about a former Playboy bunny who witnessed some of the freak off situation. It's disturbing. And a makeup artist. Now, this makeup artist actually recalls seeing Cassie bruised badly after an alleged fight. Her name is Mila Morales. She's a makeup artist who previously worked with both Diddy and Cassie, and she said she saw signs of this makeup artist went on to Piers Morgan's show to share what she saw. She claimed that one incident took place during a Grammy weekend at the Beverly Hotel over 10 years ago. It's something that she personally can never forget about because I think when you witness signs of ABUSE like this, you just can't forget it. But I do wonder why she didn't go and report it then. Granted, I mean, maybe she didn't want to lose her job. It's a sick world.
Has your view now changed?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is 24 years later, and it's shocking to hear all these allegations. It's completely shocking.
Shocking to hear them? Is it surprising, given everything that you may have gleaned about him in that period?
It is surprising. Yes, it is. I mean, it's been, hearing all of this. I mean, I owe a lot to Puff with my career because, I
actually totally recognize her. Do you guys? What was she on? I feel like I recognize her from something on TV back in the day.
Work with the biggest photographers in the world, the biggest directors in the world. We were running around with the biggest names in the business.
The reason I'm curious why you find it that shocking is that in 2010, you were very close to Cassie as well. And we've seen this horrific video prior where he literally... Well, I'm just going to ask you...
I wonder, did Cassie ever confide in these people?
I'm going to just let the viewers know where I'm going here.
Mila shares that all she ever witnessed was Diddy walking into the room and saying, "Where the F is she?" I didn't know what was going on. I was like, I just woke up from a slumber. And then next, all I hear from the bedroom was stuff that I don't want to go back and think about. That's pretty rich that she just doesn't want to think about it. I mean, I know personally, if I was in a room and someone I cared for, worked for, whatever, if something was going down and I could hear it and it was violent, there's not an inkling of me that could just lay there in bed and just listen to it happen. That kind of gives me psychopath energy. But Mila says, I don't know what was going on. All I could think of was to get her out of there. Now, Mila wasn't able to save Cassie in that moment, or at least she did not know how to. She claims that when she saw Cassie, she was bruised, badly bruised, with knots on her head and a black eye. She continued, all I cared about was to get her to safety, and I took her into my house and kept her there for a few days. I literally called my friend, who was a doctor at the time, to treat her because we couldn't bring her to the hospital. We didn't know what the hell to do at that point. Who are we going to call? And I feel like I've heard this before in Diddy's stories, that he could bring doctors around and avoid the hospital, because if you have the hospital workers there and they see this, they could call the police. But doesn't this make this makeup artist one of the enablers? One of these people who really kept Diddy's, bad things going? And I wonder who, if there's going to be people in this case who will, switch up and share what they have, and they will be able to avoid getting charged with crimes because they are now confessing that Diddy had done something. But I feel like the enablers should get in trouble as well.
You said about that it wasn't a one-off, that when Cassie was beaten up on a separate occasion in 2010, you took her in, you said. We didn't even want to go to hospital, so I had a doctor friend of mine come and take a look at her. We were scared. I still have PTSD talking about it. That's nearly 15 years ago. So my only question to you is, given what you witnessed then, given what you knew had happened, and given what we all then saw with the second incident on that horrific video, Actually, why are you that surprised about these allegations that have come to light?
For me, it's like it's just reliving the whole situation
That's kind of that's a great question, but I can already tell a BS response.
over again, and that to me is the shocking part of it. You know, I block that. That's PTSD. That's trauma that I experienced from back then, and reliving it is really, you know, difficult for me to experience because I've known Cassie since she was 17 years old, and I was like her big sister.
I feel like the key word there was like, which is good for Cassie for, you know, getting these people out of her life. Mila shared that she also feels intimidated by Diddy. We were always scared of Puff, she said. He's a powerful person and we don't know what would happen to us if we spoke out. And that seems to be a common theme here. I mean, I don't understand why so many people are complicit. I get why there are some people and, you know, there's manipulation. It's kind of like grooming them to become these complicit people. But I feel like in a workplace, I don't know, maybe I'm just like, I like to think I stand up for myself. I have that problem sometimes, but like, you know, I've been in workplace situations where I've said, oh, hold up, like I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. And it's surprising like that this photographer would cater to Cassie to try to keep her at bay almost for Diddy in a way because she was so scared of him.
Listen, I'm not accusing you of doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, do you wish with hindsight to prevent him treating other people in such a horrendous manner? Do you wish you'd taken it to the police, to authorities?
Of course, I mean, absolutely. But, you know, these are things that we couldn't do because we were terrified of Sean.
Right, see, that's really interesting because that wasn't how you described him at the start of this. So tell me about that. Clearly, there's another side to this guy, to the one that you painted when we first started talking. And the other side to him is appalling, isn't it? I mean, he wielded this power, this influence, this terror over you. Tell me about that.
When it got to the point with Cassie, it was like very difficult.
I do wonder if her safety is at risk just because like there are people who are on the other side, are out in the free world that are on Diddy's, you know, team. And I feel like doing an interview like this, like it's kind of, I don't know exactly what the point is besides her adding that, yeah, Cassie was harmed, which nobody denies that.
For me to like, just, I mean, deal with that. Like even right now, it's just, it gives me like trauma. And so watching all these allegations unfold, I mean, being an industry professional, that's all I cared about. And
cared about what, her profession?
Like, I don't know what goes on, like, behind closed doors.
I know I recognize her from somewhere. You guys need to comment below. Where have we seen her before? For some reason, I really don't like the way that she's speaking about this, though. I do think she's probably telling mostly the truth, you know? I mean, why would she lie at this point? Unless she just knew much more than what she's even saying now. She said Cassie had a black eye for sure. Her lip was swollen. She had bruises on her body. She was actually advised to go to the ER to rule out a major head trauma, but she was too scared. Now let's get into this former Playboy model, Rachel Kennedy, who has a story about Diddy. Oh gosh, okay, I guess this is our girl Rachel over here on the side. Oh, poor Rachel. Oh, honey. I'm just trying to debate, is it Orange County that got to her, or is it Beverly Hills? Something about this is, yeah. A Playboy model claims that she was at Diddy's Freak Off with a soundtrack music video of Jennifer Lopez playing in the background. She was in Japan in the year 2000. Wow. Imagine flying in the year 2000 to Japan. Sounds intense. Where she said she and two friends met Diddy at a topless club and he invited them back to his hotel suite. Rachel recently went on a podcast titled The Trial of Diddy, and she said she thought she was going to a party, but when she arrived, the only person in the room was Diddy in a bathrobe. Here's a clip of Rachel talking about that moment.
We went up to his apartment, or to his floor, and knocked on the door, and there's Diddy in a bathrobe with a bottle of champagne in his hand. And I realized before we even walked through the front door that it was just him. And I was like, oh, this is not a party. You know, this is not the kind of party that we were all expecting. It was just him by himself. I never expected that it would just be him by himself in the room. But we went in, you know, we didn't think anything weird. You know, he was friendly enough to where we decided, okay, we'll just hang out with him.
Now, even in Japan, across the ocean, he had the drugs, so they ended up partaking in some drugs. Rachel claims that she and her friends did do coke, but Diddy did not. She and one friend went into the bedroom with him. He got naked, and they did oral things to him for about 20 minutes. Ew. Also, I would feel like really disgusted for, I mean, no one should feel shame, but like, you know, if you hooked up with someone who's done so many bad things with children, it's just like, oh, I just don't want any of his demon energy on me. When they walked into the hotel room, there was a music video playing on the TV of J-Lo singing. She didn't recall the song, but she says the video was playing on a loop. By the way, this was at the same period when Diddy was dating J-Lo. Actually, the model claims that Diddy was on the phone with J-Lo at times while they were just hanging out. So not only is he a monster, he's a child creeper, but he's a cheater. I mean, cheating is probably the least of his problems at this point.
It was a TV, and when we walked in, he was playing videos of some pop star, and I didn't know who she was. And then one of the other girls had told me, that's J-Lo, that's his girlfriend. So he had us sit down, and he kept playing these videos of Jennifer Lopez for us to watch. We probably watched like maybe 4 in a row. And the whole time he was still on the phone, and come to find out later on in that evening that he was talking to her the whole time. She was on the phone the whole time that we were in the room.
Did you actually hear her talk?
I didn't hear her talk. Oh, okay. He said he was on the phone with this girl, and it made sense that he was playing us these videos and just kind of showing her off to us. He never got off the phone. I don't know if it was her the whole time, but he never put down that phone until we entered the bedroom later on that evening.
Now, about 20 minutes into their encounter in the bedroom, Diddy's bodyguard came into the room and became enraged. He recognized Rachel as the woman he was with the night before. She says the bodyguard got physical with the woman, but Rachel says Diddy did not get involved. Wait, what? Wait, that is such a messy story. So she was with another guy, the bodyguard, the night before. Now she's hanging out with Diddy. Now he's mad. I'm surprised the bodyguard isn't used to it at this point. Since we brought up Jennifer Lopez, let's just go ahead and talk about this article. Jennifer Lopez ambushed by Diddy question during an autographed signing. So she does not want to be asked about Diddy. We all know this. You guys know she's got this movie Unstoppable that was produced by her ex, Ben Affleck. It's kind of like the last piece of their relationship before their divorce is finalized. Which if you guys have seen this movie, comment below. I am not hating on J-Lo. I think she's a great actress, so I would like to hear what you guys think. I probably will not see it, to be honest. I have a few movies I want to see before that. I want to go and see Wicked, but it's not even available yet. Now, J-Lo was at the end of the line of fans moving into an elevator with security when someone asked her if she had any comments about the Diddy situation. Here's a TikTok I found of her trying to avoid this question.
You guys get out of control.
Comments about P. Diddy, the allegations?
Look, don't lean. Don't lean. Don't lean. You're nice to fine.
What a crazy year for J-Lo. A divorce, now this Diddy situation, that documentary that will go down in history. Honestly, I'm surprised she hasn't pulled it from the internet, but she probably needs to try to get as much money from it still. But can you imagine, is anyone actually purchasing that now? Now, Diddy and J-Lo only dated for 2 years because he was cheating on her, which we just talked about an instance. But those 2 years were really like 8 years in Hollywood because J-Lo found herself in so much trouble with Diddy. I mean, we've heard about the 1999 shooting. Now we have the 13-year-old girl who may be possibly listing her name in a lawsuit. This is some crazy stuff, guys. Like, I can't believe what we're seeing happen. Well, Hollywood is really falling apart. I don't think it's falling apart though. I think it's going through, like, what is it called when like a butterfly becomes something, like it becomes a butterfly, like a I'm like morphosate. That's like a plastic surgery thing. But you know, it's just kind of changing. And I hope that with this change, there's a new generation coming about and a refreshing take and energy. And I would love to see that blossom and to be a part of that. But I want to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I love you guys, and I'll see you in a new one soon. Bye, guys.